Welcome to the Chazz Palminteri podcast. We got a great show today, but before we do that, I want to remind you want to see my one-man show, go to chazzpalminteri.net, and you will see I'm at a city near you, chazzpalminteri.net. Also, the saddest thing in life is wasted talent. My father wrote this on a card, gave it to me, and I think that's why I'm successful today, because of this. Makes a great gift for your child or somebody you want to inspire. Also, we're approaching 20,000 subscribers. And when we hit 20,000, I have 5 vintage style posters that I'm going to give away to our subscribers. So hit that subscribe button. So today, oh my God, we got old school to the max today because of so many requests that we got. You know what some guy said? They said, you got to bring him back. He's a national treasure. That's the words the guy used. And I'm telling you right now, my man, Squiggy, how are you, Squiggy?
I'm absolutely fine. I didn't know I was a national treasure, but
they said you. Let me tell you something. Only Squiggy. I send a limo to his house to pick him and his wife up to come up to my home up here, right? Takes the limo. Where does he go? He doesn't come up here. Just like a neighborhood old school guy. Takes it down to Manhattan. Has fucking lunch in Manhattan with the limo. The limo cost me $400 just to drive him from the Bronx up to here.
Wait to get the bill, and I'm a big tipper.
And you're a big tipper.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I don't want to embarrass you.
Well, I appreciate that, Squiggy. But, Squiggy, so many people saw you on the show last time, and they just, I got to tell you, Squiggy, they just fell in love with you. Did you get people who saw you on the show? Did they mention
they I've got phone calls. I got some weird ones, too. Yeah, guys, I don't know who. A guy wanted to do a movie somewhere in fucking Pennsylvania in the boondocks. He says it's a horror rock film from the 60s. I says, who are you? Who the fuck is the guy? Could be a mass murderer. He wants to bring me to fucking Pittsburgh and the wilderness.
I got to tell you, Squiggy, but you were in a bunch of movies, and one you won an award, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a movie.
About that one.
It was called, again, I don't leave the Bronx. This was called Bronx Paradise.
Bronx Paradise, okay.
So now I played it's hard to believe, a mob boss called Frankie Sunshine. I know, it was a stretch.
Right.
So they say you were nominated for an award, like an Academy Award for the International Film Festival in Pasadena.
I know
it's a big one.
Well.
In fact, the year before, Jet Li won the award. He was big.
Right.
So I says, who's there? They said, you're against Jay Russo, Michael Madsen, and some international stars. Yeah, so I says, leave me the fuck alone. I don't want to go. They don't know who I am. They don't know. I'm not too sure who I am. Never mind, who's going to know me there? They said, no, Ralphie. They talked me into it. They said, we'll put you in a 5-star hotel. Everything's paid for. So I'm starting to lean towards this. I said, okay, this is good. I said, okay, send me out there. So they fly me out to I even have a guy watching over me. He's like a bodyguard.
Right.
So I'm in Pasadena, and I'm walking down the street, and this is really weird. People come, hey, Frankie, how you doing? And the concierge, hey, I said, who the fuck is Frankie? I didn't realize that was my name in the movie. I thought I could tell you later. He says, no, that's your name, Frankie Sunshine. So they called me up. I said, listen, you got to be there at the awards. The guy who ran the awards, he says, there'll be like 500 people. There's some major stars. I think Ron Perlman and Kim Coates were giving out the things.
Right.
I says, listen, put me as far back as you could. Get a table like near the door. So Sue comes out to have like 30 martinis and just throw me out the door and get me out of here.
Right.
He says, oh, no. He says, no. He didn't want me to go. I knew there was something going on. So they finally get to my category, which was of
supporting actor?
No. So best villain in a in a feature film. So they made there's a girl next to me who's a writer from Canada. She says, is your name Squillante? I says, yeah. Now half gone already. I'm drinking these martinis. He says, you won. I said, you got to be kidding. Now all these people stand, they're clapping. She says, you got to make a speech. I says, oh, you got to be out of your fucking mind. I said, she's got to walk. I'm walking there. I missed the steps. I banged into it a little. I get up. I was a little guy. And Ron Perlman says, you got to make a speech. Now there's the mayor from Pasadena is there.
Right.
I said, I don't know what to say. So I said, listen, thank you all these people. You sent me to this beautiful town of Pasadena for 3 days. You're the nicest people, the cleanest streets. I says, I'm just a guy from the Bronx. I'm here 3 whole days. I didn't hear one fucking gunshot. So the fucking man, hey, he's cheering. So now it's all over. He says, listen, we're having a private party for all the winners.
Right.
It's like a champagne party. I says, yeah. He says, so you're going to go upstairs. So I got the cabinet that they gave me. I said, I'm leaving. He said, where you going? I said, before you realize you made a mistake, I'm taking this fucking thing. I'm leaving here. And I left. I left. I went back to the hotel.
Wow.
So that was, but it was like, I still got it hanging up on the wall.
You know, Ralph, I noticed something that you smoke cigars.
Yes.
I'm just curious, like, when did you start? Who taught you how to smoke?
This is another bizarre part of my life.
Okay,
we had, you remember the club, and Alfred definitely remembers the club. Every once in a while, I used to sing over there.
Right.
Even though we didn't want him to sing, he just got up and sang anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So we're over there. Now, this is a neighborhood where everybody had a gun in the club, including the hat check girl. Everybody had a fucking gun. I mean, the guns were like nothing, you know.
Right.
So there's other clubs like 2 or 3 blocks down. So I get a phone call. Listen, there's 2 groups shooting at each other, going in your direction. So I called up. We had another club across the street. I said, close the doors. Don't let nobody in. You know what I mean? And sure enough, this is out of a movie. They run, that guy just shooting backwards under the thing. They shot a poor guy. They just wounded him. They had the worst fucking aim in the world.
Right.
I wanted to open up a shooting range for these guys. You know, now we made a fortune. They were shooting at everybody they shot had nothing to do with the shooting. You know? Right. So there's bodies over there. So I'm going inside, and my friend Peter, you know Peter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Peter's going, I can't fucking take this no more. He's yelling. So I says, yeah, I'm taking this. He says, look at that picture. It's tilted. Here's a picture on the fucking thing. He says, it's tilted. I says, it looks like the Mekong Delta outside. You worry about a fucking picture that's tilted? He says, listen, you got to calm down. Smoke a cigar. That's how I started smoking cigars. It's a bizarre story, but that's how it happened.
That's the truth.
That's a God's honest truth.
Wow. Now, was that, I know you used to go to this, for those of you who don't know, you were a cop at one time.
Yes.
And then after 10 years, they asked you.
Well, they says, could you find another source of a profession or another occupation? Yes. Well, okay. I you know, listen, we lived in a different world, and right. I had a little thing about gambling.
A little thing.
Well, you know, like I even said the other thing, I never thought there was anything wrong with gambling. I didn't even think it was against the law.
Right.
I'd be honest, everybody in my family were bookmakers, you know what I mean? Right. So I didn't think there was anything wrong.
Would you ever, because you guys grew up in the street and you became a cop, obviously, would you ever find yourself on different sides of the law than your friends?
No, because I didn't do too many things.
No, I mean, like, would you ever be a cop and then you find your friend is, like, in the cell, like, you go into work and you're like, oh my God, it's Ricky or something.
That actually happened.
That did?
Oh, yeah. This is another bizarre story. Remember Joey Sport? You remember Joey, yes. He's gone now, so I can tell the story. They called me up, and my sergeant was a dear friend of mine. He's the only guy who really understood me. And not too many people understood me. He says, Ralphie, your friend's in the cell. I says, Joey. And he's going like this. I'm ruined if this number comes out. They'll tell me. Everybody's screaming, yelling, ranting. I said, Joey, calm the fuck down. I go inside and I had the Marlow squad.
And you were a cop?
Well, I wasn't allowed to go out in the street then. I was sort of like, I was told I had to stay inside. You know,
they gave you the rubber gun.
Well, I was like, I was sort of like on Love Boat. I was like the fucking maitre d' over there. I don't know what I was, I'd be honest with you.
So you were working, though, but you found your friend in the cell.
Yeah. So they told me he's in there. So I said, Joey. Oh. So I told him, I give him the number. He says, oh, I'm safe. He's not in trouble. He says, Ralphie, I'm starving. I said, yeah. I didn't eat nothing yesterday. I said, okay. So Vinny, my dear friend, was my boss then. I said, Vinny, I'm going to take him out of the cell and take him to Dominic's to eat. You know, I was a little fucking wacky. I said, I'll take him he says, you can't take him to, he's a fucking prisoner. You can't take him out to eat. But I said, I realized that. I said, you're right. I go to Dominic's, I buy a ton of food. I got 2 gallons of wine, took it up to the captain's office. He's gone now many years. And I bring all the food. So I take him out. Now he only knows. I said, sit there. They think you're a cop. They don't know the difference. They're all eating, they're drinking.
Right.
So he's sitting there, and they're telling cop stories, ba-boom, ba-bing, ba-bang, ba-boom. So I had to leave because at 4 o'clock I had to go to the racetrack. It was the end of the tour. I mean, I don't mind fighting crime to a point, but you know what I mean? Yeah. So I says, Joey, he says, could I stay? I said, no, you can't stay. You're not a fucking cop. You got a prisoner. You got to go back in your cell. So we put him back in the cell. His wife called me up. Oh, thank you. Joey was so happy. He had a great time. I said, don't make this a habit now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
they had no idea. The other cops and the captain.
No, they didn't know who it is. He didn't say. He's just sitting in the
Just a guy.
I told him, shake your head every once in a while. I mean, he's a number runner. He's not a criminal like you would say. Right. I mean, he's a number runner. I mean, he's like, on a scale of criminals, he'd be below 0. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you had a 1 to 10, he'd be 0. He ain't violent, he ain't nothing. You know, but
right.
I shouldn't have done it, but I seemed like a good idea at the time.
Squiggy, this club is supposed to be a legendary club, and that was again, the Riddlers.
Yes.
What made it so special? First, it was a cop bar, right?
Well, it started, then it was an everything bar. We had every maniac known to mankind showed up there. I mean, you could have been there. Guys could walk there with a nuclear missile on his back. I mean, it was a fucking all crazy fucking people in there. I tell you, but we have one thing. Now this is strange. You could have been. I don't care who you were, how bad you were. You couldn't wear a hat. To this day, I don't know why. You could come in there with a fucking grenade launcher, anything else, but you can't have a hat on your head.
You were not allowed to wear a hat.
No hats. But everything else was fine.
That is weird. Wow.
Oh, well, we lived in a weird world.
Wow. Holy shit. Now, obviously, there were a lot of cops in there.
Yep.
I'm just curious. Did anybody ever try to rob the place with all those cops in there?
Years before I was even there with my friend, I know for the story for a fact. Now, here's some criminals aren't too bright.
True.
They're having like a cop function in there. You know, like a bunch of cops, 30 cops. 3 guys decide to rob the place. They go, but now they're casing the place out. Now, these guys were definitely not going on Jeopardy. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah. They're walking in and out, deciding when they're going to rob the place. Somewhere along the line, even though there's like 20 cops in there, they thought it was safe. They declare a stick up, they get shot. Apparently, they got shot going out.
All 3 of them got shot?
One guy, I think, got shot. If I remember correctly, one guy got shot and the other ones were shot. But I'm just saying, after a while, you got to say, this ain't a good idea. I mean, somewhere along the line.
Yeah, you have to notice that something's not right.
Right.
Have you guys seen that video of the guy who robbed a gun store? In a class in a gun store. He robbed a gun store, and then everybody was like, what? And then this guy started attacking him. And
some things.
Like 15 people pulled out guns.
Listen, some things just don't make sense. You don't rob a bar that's full of cops. That just don't make sense. You don't run a gun store where the guys are walking around with fucking Uzis. Right. I mean, and you're walking in there with like a 25. Yeah. It don't make sense. But some guys are not that bright.
Some guys are. Criminals sometimes are not that bright.
Yeah, you got some guys that are, they're not well.
I noticed something with you, Squeaky. Right. You're always a sharp dresser. Were you always a sharp dresser all your life?
Yeah. It was, like I told you, my uncle told me, if you don't look like you got money, you'll never borrow no money. That was his philosophy on life. And I went along with that. I said, he said, if you look like a broken down chandelier, nobody's giving you a nickel. And like I said, in my neighborhood, there was no banks. You had to borrow money from other guys. You know what I mean? Right. So if you walked in there looking like, a shimaroo, you ain't get a nickel. You walk in there like you don't. It's so ironic. You walk in there looking like you don't need money, and they'll give it to you.
Right.
Now, you figure that out. I'm still trying to figure that out.
If you look like you need help in life, nobody's going
to help.
Where's your hat from? That's a beautiful hat.
This is Scala from Italy.
Oh, nice. You're not wearing that in the club, though.
No, I couldn't wear it in the hat.
You couldn't wear it in the Riddlers?
No way.
No, you could have had a fucking a hat with a turret on it, with a machine gun. You might have got away with it.
No, it doesn't matter who you were. You're not wearing a hat.
You ain't wearing no hats. That was it. It was amazing.
How were the girls in the Riddlers?
Oh, it was stunning. There was girls it was so weird. There was girls over there. I mean, guys got engaged. They got married. They got unengaged, unmarried. I mean, it was just one of those places. People did what, they were happy. They were very happy people. Wow. Then they had after-hour clubs. You could possibly go into the club and show up at home 3 days later. You know what I mean? Yeah, because you went to this after-hour club, another after-hour club.
So sometimes you get home at 6 in the morning.
Not sometimes.
All the time.
All the time. That was a reasonable time.
That was a reasonable
That was
time.
a reasonable time, 6 in the morning. Wow, I thought I was doing good.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Wow.
wow. So, now, you grew up, where did you grow up exactly?
I grew up on Arthur Avenue. I
Right
lived
on
on
Arthur
Arthur
Avenue.
Avenue. I lived right on Arthur Avenue. Right across, remember St. Barnabas?
St. Barnabas,
Right
yeah.
across the thing. And my family all lived there. Everybody, my grandfather, my uncles, my family was a little strange. They didn't go too far from one another. 2 brothers married 2 sisters. Another sister married a cousin. I mean, just like in the Ozarks. Only it's, you know what I mean? Everybody, they didn't go far. You didn't go far. You know what? My mother says, I married your father because I couldn't leave the block. Well, you know, and apparently, you know, she was right. I mean, we had some strange. My mother, I remember my father was a union boss for Bendix Aircraft. I was a good fight, tough guy, my father. They give him a house in Garfield, New Jersey, as a thing for being a union boss.
Right.
Garfield, New Jersey. So he's all ready to go to Garfield, New Jersey. My mother says, you could go, but we're staying here.
Wow.
She told him outright, the kids are staying, you could go. She had no problem my father living in Garfield by himself. So
Wow.
that was the end of that, yes.
So, wow, that's really, but does he regret that he didn't go in the house? Oh,
Well,
that's
my
amazing.
father, he was out of his mind anyway. He regretted only things like if he lost a photo finish, he
Now,
regretted that.
your father, in all due respect
Yeah, yeah.
to him, he was a degenerate gambler.
Yeah. My father was definitely. My father, like he'd be looking at the races, and he says, he used to say, take me. I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I'm taking him to the zoo. He's taking me. But my Uncle Al, they took me to the zoo. They took me to Belmont Racetrack. The only fucking animal I saw was a horse. I never saw nothing else. That's where they would take me.
Did you know Eddie Mush?
Yes, I know Eddie well.
Do you have any good Eddie stories?
Well, Eddie was like he knows. Eddie was just what he was.
It was
Just-
really like that.
Eddie was a guy, never won a bet in his life.
I heard the only 2 times that he almost won. One of them, the horse had a heart attack and
That's
died right before the finish line.
Right, that's
and
true.
The other time, the horse threw the jockey off the horse.
Finished
and,
first,
and
but-
finished first, but got disqualified because the jockey
but
wasn't
they're
on.
funny like that. They usually have to finish together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're supposed to have the jockey and the horse finish in the second. They're very
Now,
strict about
what was
that.
your toughest bet you ever lost, Squig?
Oh boy, I lost a bet. Now this is a great. She could tell you. I get a tip on a college football team. You know, college football team. Now I owe $1 zillion to a certain guy, and they says I don't know how to get even, so I make X amount reverse. So maybe I owe them 2,000, and if I hit the two teams, I get back 5,000. So
Whoa.
I'm out of the hole. In those days, it's a lot of money.
Ton of money.
So I never forgot. I bet UCLA because there was nobody else playing. I took UCLA and the team that they gave me. So UCLA wins by about 1,000 points. So now I'm having a nervous breakdown because I can't get the score. I told my father, go get the newspaper, see what North Carolina. Never forget North Carolina State. It was like a point difference. My father comes back and they got my team 1 by 2. I said, now I go across the street. I had to borrow money. I'm throwing a party in Gino's, at your friend's restaurant.
Right.
I got like 10 people. Go ahead, order whatever you want. Don't worry about a thing. Give me some money. I borrow money. Now I'm in Gino's. The person who gave me the team comes walking through. I said, hey, Gary, thank you, my boy. I hug him. He said, what are you so happy about? I said, what are you talking about? He said, we lost. I said, what do you mean we lost? He said, we lost. I said, I got the paper. So he said, let me look. The Daily Mirror was in, had 1 score, and the Post had another score.
Oh, shit.
I says, I can't tell. I'm having a nervous breakdown. They were all eating. I'm told, shut the fuck up. They ordered lobsters. I'm eating it, and I was like, I'm eating Yorkies. It was like a Gatling gun. It was shooting out of my mouth. So I said, I can't take this. I said, let me call it. I called up North Carolina State. And I think it was close. It was actually close. I said, I'm an alumni of the school. I think I got yeah, I know, it's hard. I think I got the janitor on the phone. I don't know who this guy was. He said, I said, my wife got sick last night, and I never got the score. This is the truth. He says, oh, yeah. He said, well, as soon as he said this, Chazz, well, I'm sorry.
Oh.
We lost. Stop eating, you fucks. Who's ordering champagne? They're ordering lobsters. I don't got 9 cents. But
Wow.
these things happen.
That's a
Wait,
tough
so what's the best bet you won?
Oh.
I hit the number for an enormous amount of money.
Twice,
yeah. Well, they killed one guy, Little Pussy Russo in Jersey. Never forgot that. Room 412. I got no money as usual. And I bet that, and I bet with the numbers guys over there, and Peter's uncle's another number guy, and boom, boom, it comes out. And then I hit, this was a great story. I could tell a little story.
Go ahead. Don't say it. Tell it.
I'm in trouble. Yeah, I'm always in trouble. I don't know if I get it. Whatever it is, I'm sitting in front of my mother's house. I'm in, I'm taking the sun, though. One thing about me, I always have
You
to
like
look
the
sharp.
sun.
Yeah, I'm taking the sun. I got like $60 in my pocket. The world's coming to an end. I'm calling up the suicide hotline. They're hanging up on me. You know what I mean? So I'm over there, and the kid, Johnny Boy, is across the street, is a number runner. He says, Ralphie, the first number's out. I said, yeah, Johnny. He says, do me a favor. Take the $60 bet. He hits the second number. So I'll bet the last. Make a long story short, we get back like $600 and change.
$600?
Yeah, but it don't matter. I owe $1 zillion out. But I need my lawyer. I need if I got Algonquin J. Calhoun. You know what I mean? I'm in serious trouble. I says, take me to, that time, Roosevelt Racetrack was open. Remember Roosevelt?
I remember Roosevelt.
So I says, drive me out to Roosevelt. So we're out there. We're eating. We're in the certain room where everything's expensive. I have $200 left. I'm my son. I said, $200 left. I says, listen, Johnny Boy, I'm not paying the bill. I'm leaving. He said, no, we're going to get arrested. This kid thinks he's arrested. I said, fuck out of here. Don't worry about it. I said, stay here. Wash dishes. I don't give a fuck what you do. So I bet my last $200 on the horse. That's all I had. The longest shot in the race was the 8-horse. Don't remember, was Frank Darris. The guy won one race in 42 years. And boom, the horse wins. The horse wins. Pays $48. I got $4,000. That's a lot of money. He says, go now. From not paying the bill, I'm buying everybody a drink, give them a bottle of champagne to that table. We lived right there. We lived from one minute to the other. So we go there. I says, John, I give him a bet on the number because he's a number. Boom, boom. I go. Remember Ruffles?
Joe Ruffles.
He had the place. Ruffles.
I gave him that name, Joe Ruffles.
Yeah. So I get a phone call there. Now, how the fuck did they know I'm there? I didn't know I was going to be there.
Right.
Oh, Ralphie Locke. Hey, I said, yeah. What the fuck you do? You got money? I said, what the fuck? It was my friend Robert. He says, you're not happy? I got to see you. I said, why? I got to see you. I said, oh, boy. Another fucking problem. I go down to the neighborhood. Some kid got locked up with the numbers, and they wanted to know, but they wanted to see if the car could be released, but the car was never taken, so it didn't matter. We said, we don't give a fuck about the kid with the gun. They could keep him for the rest of his life. We want the thing with the gun. So I looked like I did something, but I really did nothing. So I go into the office, and I'm over there. Now I'm feeling no pain. I'm drinking, boom, boom, boom. And I give them another $80. I bet the number again with them. You're not happy? You got money in your pocket? Get the fuck out of here. I go home. Now, next day I got to go to work.
Right.
You know, at 4 o'clock. So the numbers are coming out. My father says, Johnny called up, 4-1 is leading. I said, mod on. I said, tell me when the last comes out. I'm nervous. So he says, nobody calls the house. So I said, I'm going to work. I got to go to work. I called.
How much did you bet on the number?
Almost $200.
That's big balls.
Yeah. But it didn't matter. I owed $1 zillion. That was the difference.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we go there, and my father says, that fucking nut next door, Johnny Boy, called up and says, quit your job. And he hung up. So I put 2 and 2 together. He says, quit your job. And sure enough, it came out. Now, in my mind, I'm going to get killed. This is when you're a sick gambler. That something's going to happen to me tonight. I can't go to work. I got to take off because somebody's going to blow the place up, blow my car up. They're going to.
You want to collect that money.
I want to get that money in the morning. I got to get the money in the morning.
Right.
So I take off. I go in the morning. Now, the guy's outside with a bag full of money. A bag, shopping bag, like this. So now we're going over there. The kid, Johnny Boy, howls out, like a car pulled up. Maybe the detective's going to the White Castle. Yeah. The feds, everybody's running. People, what are you out of your fucking minds? I said, grab the bag. And my friend Albert, I was driving by with his wife. They threw the bag in his car. His wife was pregnant. She almost gave birth.
Right.
They brought it to my mother. What did he do now? I said, Ma, I didn't do nothing wrong. Please, Ma, please leave me alone. That's when I told you when she slept with the money.
She slept
for 3
with the
days.
Money. That's
3
right,
days.
For 3 days.
3 days. Well,
You slept with the money.
Yeah, I had no place to put the money because
Right, because it was like it's money.
That's
It's
a
like
big
here's
money.
a bag of money.
yeah, but
It's not like a check or
I had no bank account.
It's
The
not a
last bank
Venmo. Yeah,
account
you
I had
don't-
was in kindergarten. They used to give you $1. That was your bank account.
There's no Venmo.
Yeah,
It's just
so
a bag
she
of
had
money.
She had a reclining chair. I said, Mom, get off the recliner, put the bag. I went to Atlantic City. I said, put the bag in the recliner. Okay, and I like I told you before. So I'm in Atlantic City. My father, 2 days later, I called the house. I said, you got to come home. So I'm thinking something bad happened. You know what I mean? Something serious. You got to come home. I said, what? What's wrong? Where's the money? I forget about it, but he stole my father. I was worried about if the money was taken. So he said, you got to come. Your mother's been on this chair for 2 days. She eats on the chair, sleeps on the chair, and when she has to go to the bathroom, I got to sit on the chair.
Wow.
He says, if they take anything, they got to take us first, then the chair, then the money. So I had to come home. Yeah.
Squiggy, I got to tell you, you are that person who said that you are a national treasure. You're a fucking classic. Because you're real. You know, the way you are now was the way you were fucking when we were kids. So I got to just tell you, it was great to have you on the show. I'm going to have you on again, obviously. Your last name. So how do you get the name Squiggy Squillante, right?
Squillante. They couldn't say my name, Squiggy was like a little difficult. Squillante was a little difficult. Squiggy's still a little difficult.
Right.
I lived in a neighborhood of,
Everybody had a nickname,
everybody
right?
had a nickname.
Everybody had a nickname.
If you didn't have a nickname, you didn't belong.
You didn't belong there. So everybody out there, again, this is the Chazz Palminteri podcast. Old school. I keep bringing these old school guys on here. I'm going to keep bringing different ones all the time because this is a dying breed. And I mean that because old school guys are not around anymore. These kids with the internet today, and there's no more old school. But I want to remind you, you want to see my one-man show, go to chazzpalminteri.net. You can buy the merchandise. You can buy the card. The saddest thing in life is wasted talent. A great gift for Christmas, and it's to inspire somebody. Also, you can see my one-man shows. Like I said, just go on the site. Come to my restaurants. I'm there all the time. One on Main Street in White Plains, one in Manhattan, 30 West 46th Street. God bless you all, and hope to see you again.